Hi, Mitchell School students. This is Mr. Bays again, here on your snowy day learning at home with a second read aloud for you. You might remember from the first book that I have a nice warm cup of hot chocolate. Nothing really warms me up on a cold day more than hot chocolate. Some of you might like marshmallows or whipped cream. I know that I like peppermint in my hot chocolate. And so maybe you're having hot chocolate right now. Maybe you are taking a break from learning with your teacher. Maybe you have candy canes in your home. But everybody likes that differently, and some of you might not like chocolate at all. But just something to share from my end. The second book that I want to read aloud for you today has really beautiful pictures, and I want to thank Mrs. Guardino for introducing me to this book. But it's called The Bear and the Star by Lola Schaefer, illustrated by Bethann Anderson. So I'm going to read this book aloud to you, and you can pause at any point to get anything that you need. A nice blanket to snuggle up on this day. The Bear and the Star by Lola Schaefer. I'll turn it this way so you can see. And this book is dedicated to those who share the light, and for Theo Vincent Anderson, who is a new peacemaker on the earth. Even when the wind's blowing and the snow is falling, there's something really peaceful about a snowstorm, isn't there? Early one December morning, Bear woke and turned toward the horizon, to a star, a new star, barely visible, yet larger than any before. It was time. I love how the trees and the sky look in this book. You can see the back of the bear's head right here. Bear stood and began his search for a tree that would be strong, a tree that would be tall, a tree that would be the center of all to come. You can see the cardinals in the trees. Cardinals are really cool this time of year because they don't seem to migrate like other birds, and their red shows so brightly against the snow. A lot of animals either have camouflage for the winter or migrate, but not cardinals. They seem to enjoy maybe kind of sticking out in the snow. And then, on the top of a windswept hill, Bear found the tree, an evergreen, more majestic than ever before. This is such a cool painting in the book right here, because if you've ever stood under a really big tree, and sometimes we walk past things in the woods or in our yard, but if you stand under a really big tree and you look up, you can see not just how big and majestic the tree is, but it almost feels like the tree is a giant, like a person standing right there. You should try that when you go outside later today. Bear roared to the east, then to the west. He bellowed to the north, and then to the south. You might not be able to see, but Bear is right here underneath this tree on the top of what is a snowy mountain. And then in all directions, I guess down in the valley, there's still leaves on the trees and even flowers, poppies in the meadows. So he roared to all four directions. And because it was time, his call echoed through canyon and valley, between boulder and butte, across prairie and lake. You can see there's prairie here and desert. That star is still there, and snow in the distance. Bear lumbered through the woods and found squirrel and salamander, cardinal and raccoon. Here's that cardinal and the raccoon, a squirrel. It looks like the raccoon has holly. Holly also has berries that are red in the winter, along with a bush that's indigenous to Massachusetts called winterberry. And you'll see the gecko here. No geckos in Massachusetts. They wouldn't make it through this snow. And from everywhere, animals came. So animals are coming in response to Bear's call. Spoon-billed ibis, mice, fox, frogs. A Dalmatian is a beautiful dog, and this beautiful deer. I saw a deer just like that the other night driving home. As the star shined brighter, Bear roared louder than before, his voice booming across mesa and meadow, over sea and peak, from cliff and bluff. What do you think's gonna happen? Why do you think that Bear is roaring? He found this tree, but what do we make of it? People put down hammer and hoe, grass and thatch, knife and rice, shield and sword. It was time. But what is it time for? See, the people and the birds, they're all headed towards the mountain, towards the tree. Then they gathered mask and drum, scroll and shawl, candle and copper, flour and oil. You see this girl's carrying a candle, flowers. She's bringing a child, maybe her child, and the Canada geese are flying. The star rose higher in the sky. People brought friend and neighbor, son and daughter, mother and father, and faraway family. There's a whole line of people coming to the tree. From city and farm, across ocean and desert, from mountain and island. It looks to me in this picture, and maybe it's just perspective, that the more people and animals come, the tree looks bigger and bigger, doesn't it? To the tree that grew stronger and taller under a star larger and brighter than any before, because it was time. Oh yeah, look at the tree is now. This is the earth, and the tree is bigger off the earth. It was time for peace. The end. That was a really beautiful book. It was really very interesting. Monday night, the 21st, the first night of break, is the winter solstice. That's the first day of winter, the shortest day of the year, and the day of the year that all of us need the most light, whether it's candlelight or electric light, or the light of a star. I hope you have a wonderful winter break, and that today at home you're warm by fire or candle or the heater in your house. And that this winter break and on this snowy day, you also have peace. I can't wait to see you in the blue or green cohort tomorrow on Friday, and for the rest of you to see you in the new year.